From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021 and the breaking news about Omicron you're hearing for the first time tonight on Evenings LA. The latest details about that incredible recon are unveiled tonight as the senators are vowed to reportedly get that recon done faster on the Senate side than we initially thought. I have the latest details in tonight's recording, the breaking details from Capitol Hill. Then we're going to go over the Senate changes that are going to go on top of the existing recon. How much are they? We'll have the latest details on that as well. We'll be going over the incredible provisions that are in this recon so far that pay you a lot of money, upwards of about $50,000. We'll go over the big money you can get your bills paid today. It's third stimulus and how viewers have gotten $5,000 across the board. We're going to go to student loan debt forgiveness and then fifth stimulus, the latest details on that, plus the breaking details about what's going on with Omicron, the latest details and statements from Dr. Fauci, the new travel restrictions that went in place today, the confusion of the world markets, why the markets crashed on Friday, where they rebounded today, and why cryptocurrency is still struggling. It's a very confusing market, but it's all tied to one thing, the Federal Reserve. Meantime, you get a first glimpse into the land of the altered universe, the metaverse of a new show coming to this channel. It's coming in just a few days. I'm excited you're here. Those details and more as we go into a big Evenings LA. The excitement starts right here, right now, as we start a big night of breaking news on Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Here we go. The House of Representatives passes recon. It's now in the Senate. New indications the Senate will get that recon. Later, why is this? I have the latest details. Tonight's John, we're going to go over the Senate changes. And then new indications as well that the Senate should be adding checks for removing very few checks. Those checks so far that recon will be $50,000. This is all on top of the existing checks. Those range your bills right today. You have bills today. I'm going to show you how to get your bills. It's third stimulus. It's coming up in this video. Then we turn to exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness, $10,000 on the table. This stimulus will raise those details and more. Coming up in the second half of this video, we got a big recording today. I'm excited you're here, but make sure you subscribe. Go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. I want you part of this incredible family and be also part of the incredible news that is delivered daily on this channel. Go down under this video and hit that subscribe button. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Also, make sure you sign up for those LA alerts as well, so you do not miss a video when a new video goes live. The breaking details as we go into a big night tonight is that the recon has a lot of money in there. And there may be far more in excess than $15,000 than initially thought. And let's go over the incredible checks that are in this recon right off the board. $15,000? No, a lot more. Upwards of $50,000 to $60,000 of checks are in this incredible recon. Let's go over cluster number one. They got it in there, hazard pay, earned income tax credit for those essential workers, one more year. $4,000 of elder care, got it in there. $4,000 of children's care, got it in there. They got the CTC, one more year. The Pell Grant, $550 check for my college students. And then they got the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. And finally, the $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle. Wow, it's incredible. How do you get this money? It's coming up in just a second. Stay with me. I go over all these incredible checks. The first add-on comes from the illustrious Maxine Waters here in Southern California. What did she want? She wanted $25,000. She got a little bit less. And what is this for? It is for money to buy your first home. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Yes, free money to buy your first home. How do you get it? It's coming up in just a second. Cluster number two got in there a lot of checks across the board, and it's deliciousness. They got in there paid leave and family leave. They got household tax credit, pre-kindergarten, and then the weatherizing your home. It's the holiday season. You need to weatherize your home, don't you? No, that's winterizing your home, not weatherizing your home. Now, what is Mitch doing? He's lobsterizing the home. There's lobsters on the door. There's lobsters on the roof. There's lobsters, decorations, decor. You can never have so much lobster in the McConnell home. Now, let's go to the incredible incredible second add-on, and it comes from the illustrious Bob Casey. He got it in there. He wanted $250 billion. He got a little bit less. What is this big money? This is free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. Wow, this is incredible. Wow, just absolutely incredible. This, again, is for seniors and people on disabilities. How do you get this money? It's coming up in just a second. But he got a little bit less than 250. That is what he wanted in there. Those incredible sums of money across the board continue to come on in. Let's go to the third cluster of check. You ready for these? Here we go. The third cluster, seniors and free internet. Oh my goodness. This is the cluster we call deliciousness. They got in there. Cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform, free meals for all checks, the free internet. Also, the farmers we got in there. The clean energy, and also the money for my seniors, which is the Medicare expansion. 2 items on the House side, 3 coming from the Senate side. That truly embodies what we're looking at right now. Why? Because the House members got 2 provisions in there, which are lowering the Medicaid gap states and then the hearing. The senators, on the other hand, vowed to add 3 other provisions, which are dental, vision, and hearing aid, which tees up what we're talking about across the board when we're talking about an MSC. When we're talking about an MSC, what are they talking about? They're talking about including 1 or more IRS stimulus checks. And there's a breaking news development tonight on this as well. That breaking news tonight is that now 6 of those same 6 senators have said it's going in there in the last 7 days. What's going on? Back in May, when we saw the recon underway, I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And at that time, thousands of viewers picked up the phone and called those 6 senators. And we're told, thousands of viewers were told on this channel, it's going in there. But as soon as the bill landed in the Senate in the last 2 weeks, I said, pick up the phone and re-advocate. You need to re-advocate to those people. And you did. And it came one at a time. It started with Janet, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, picking up the phone and calling Chuck Schumer's office and being told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Then Lynn Glenn picking up the phone and calling Chris Coons' office this last Wednesday and being told it's going in there. It continued with Bonnie the day after, calling over to Liz Warren's office and being told it's going in there. It continued thereafter with Tyrell calling last Friday and saying it's going in there. And then over the weekend, and then today, Donnie picked up the phone and called Ron Wyden's office and was told it's going in there. When we talk about that MSC, what do we talk about? At least 1 or more IRS stimulus checks. What are the income qualifications? They're talking about the same as third stimulus. Single individual, 75,000 less, got it. Married couple, 150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits, or veterans benefits, you got it. It is not income, it's not taxable, and it is for all people across the board, all levels. And whether you're an adult dependent or minor dependent, you would get it as well. What are they talking about for the payouts? This time they have talked about a lot of things. Then one of the items is they said $1,000 a month after the first month of 2000 for 6 months. But what's important to understand is you need to advocate. And the number 1 senator of this equation, his chief of staff, says you need to advocate, which involves picking up the phone and saying why you need it. They have received now close to 5 million phone calls from the viewers of this channel. This channel has now delivered the most advocacy in the United States for this inclusion. And you need to pick up the phone and call. This is what the chief of staff to the number 1 legislator in the recon has said. They have now received in total between congressional service offices, received more advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures in the American petition. Everyone's amazed by the outpouring of touching stories. Now they have a better understanding what Americans are going through this pandemic because of the LA viewers. They have heartbreaking stories in the voice of the people across the nation in LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue the advocacy as the professional voice of the people. You have become allied, and continue this until this becomes a law. And yes, you need to advocate with Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. These are the 6 legislators, the 6 senators who have told thousands of viewers that it's going in there, and have told viewers in the last 7 days it's going in there as well. You need to advocate with Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, you also need to advocate for your wallet. And advocating for your wallet involves picking up the phone and getting the big money available under third stimulus right now. There's fortunes available right now. If you have bills to be paid, I know you do, you need to pick up the phone. How do you get these bills being paid? I'm going to show you in the second half of this video. Big details coming up in just a second. The recon has passed the House, is in the Senate, and the Senate changes will be robust, and the items being removed, very few, says a new report today. The programs will pay you a lot, upwards of $50,000. I'll go over all those incredible details. We'll turn to that student loan debt forgiveness and the latest offer for student loan debt. Will the Democrats take it? We'll be turning to fifth stimulus, and your questions are answered about that and COLA. Those details and more as we go into a big second half. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now on a big evening to LA as the programs in that recon will pay you a big chunk of change, upwards of $50,000. How you get this incredible money? I'm going to go over the details in the second half of this video. We'll be going over the big money available to pay your bills right now. It is third stimulus. Those details coming up in the second half. Then we'll be turning to the big money under that student loan debt forgiveness, the offer across the board, that COLA raise and more, plus the latest financial data that came in today, the financial data that the markets to implode last Friday, and the breaking news about the new travel restrictions and how they're changing across the board. Those details and more in the second half of this video. But first, I want you part of the incredible family. So make sure you go into this video and sign up for those LA alerts. It's totally free. Go under the video as well and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record in a year. I want you part of the incredible family. Like the video, 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Howard, Calcino VIP. Become a member of the #3 most watched financial news channel in America. And with that, let's go into the breaking details as we go into a big night. The breaking details are very, very robust. And one of the items at issue tonight is a big signal of where we are going. A debt ceiling limit was moved to the month of February last Thursday, but was very fascinating during that vote was earlier in the week, Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator from West Virginia, had said he was going to vote with the fellow Republicans about an amendment he didn't like that the Democrats had put in there, an amendment to a provision the Democrats had put in there. Guess what? He did not caucus with the Republicans. It's very par for the course of what I've been telling you for several weeks is that Joe Manchin often says something's going to happen, but when it comes push to shove, he supports the situation. That's very important good news tonight as a series of other reports have come out in the last 24 hours which signal that the White House and senators equally believe that the recon is going to pass in the Senate very, very quickly in the next few days. Why is this? Well, a series of new reports, including one that was featuring quotes from Seth Harlan, who's a liberal from the Liberal Center for American Politics, and Kyle Pomelo, who is a conservative from the Conservative American Enterprise Institute, said they both believe the recon is going to pass in the Senate and be done and law in December. Why do they think this? And what's at issue? Number one, they believe that whatever's in the recon is going to really stay in there, with the exception of maybe two provisions, paid leave, and then also the SALT cap. Number two, they think that what is being added in there will be robust and will go in there. Number three, they believe that it's really not much of a difficult process to get this finished and that they have a lot of time to get it done. Now, why do they think it's going going to happen. And this is what's new tonight on Evenings LA. They believe it's going to happen because they think that a lot of provisions in the recon number 3, the third stimulus recon, are set to expire in December. And Democrats don't want the programs to expire. They rather have them continued with the fourth stimulus recon rather than expired and then reinstituted. Very, very fascinating across the board. And with that, let's go into these incredible checks, and you're going to clean up in a fourth stimulus recon. It's the biggest payout we have ever seen for viewers of the history of this channel. You're going to get on average $40,000 to $50,000. We say about $15,000 to start, but there's a lot more checks in there, and we're going to go over each of them starting right now. They got the paid leave in there. That's a lot of money. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 more per year. $35,000 annual salary, $800 a week. $15,000 annual salary, $400 a week. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. Yeah, it's about $6,000 on the high end. It's incredible. All income levels. And the other thing is that if you don't work, you qualify. You may get the benefit of it if you live with your son and daughter, and they do work. Case in point, your son and daughter works, but they take off from work once a week to take you to the doctor. They're going to get the checks. All income levels, all beneficiaries, W-2 1099s. It's incredible. Next, they got the SALT cap in there. $10,000? Nope, that's a current law. They're raising it to $72,500, of what you can deduct in state and local taxes. They got $40 billion of free job training in there, which is very important because millions of Americans want to take that additional job. Then they got one of the best provisions in there. Viewers send me this question every day. Where's the cheaper medical insurance? They got it in there, which is a workaround plan offered by the Democrats to those Republicans that did not want to offer Obamacare or pay for it in certain states. Now they'll provide years of subsidized cheaper private insurance to low-income insured people in those Republican holdout states. Which brings us to the best provision of this entire recon, the housing aid. $150 billion of money. This is where your big checks are. In there is 6 provisions. 3 are new. The weatherizing your home, the home repairs, and also the purchase of the new home. But 3 of the provisions are a repeat from something we've seen before. And what is the repeat from? Third stimulus. And the great news is you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it today from third stimulus. You don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it today from third stimulus. And this is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And we're going to go over for you to get this money starting right now. When third stimulus was first in preview in December 2020, I had an exclusive insight as to what was going to be in that incredible recon. And at the time I looked at it in December 2020, wasn't even a bill yet. And I said, I can get you about $15,000 from this recon. When it became law, I said, I can still get you about $15,000. I was wrong. Average viewer of this channel got $45,000 from third stimulus. If you just found this channel and all you got from third stimulus was a stimulus check, I'm sorry. Now you can still get that money. If you didn't get the money before and you are a viewer, you can get it as today. But what happened? 2 weeks ago, I saw the importance of people to get their bills paid. People having issues getting their bills paid. So I said to viewers, have you gotten third stimulus before? You can get more third stimulus. Really? People did not know that. And people who had never gotten third stimulus before, I said, I can get you third stimulus now. It's still available and it pays your bills. And that was a light bulb turned on. Since then, every day has passed with a viewer getting $5,000 on average in the last 7 days from third stimulus for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. Who are some of the success stories? Here are some new ones tonight. They keep on coming in every hour on the hour, and boy, it's incredible. In one of the live shows earlier today, I believe it was Holidays LA, there was Thorn Diaz in the Holiday show at 11 a.m. today, said he got 4 more months of rent on Holidays LA. Thorn Diaz. So congratulations to Thorn. This morning, Chef John Meyer, who's a longtime viewer, said, I got an extra $2,500 in SNAP. Wow, that's extra money. And he thinks he can make it utilities as well. He says, you're awesome. You are too, Chef John. Then Deborah said she's getting 6 more months of rent assistance. Thank you, Ally. She's getting $4,000. 4 to 6 months. That's the average number you're seeing for the additional weeks of rent or months of rent. Then we have Lynn Glenn, who got 4 more months of rent as well. Last week, she says, I will never stop watching you. God bless you. Love you back, Lynn Glenn. Robin says, you're an angel in disguise. Thank you, Robin. She got 3 rounds of one utilities, 3 rounds of another utilities last week. How do you do that? It's coming up in a second. I'll show you how to do it. Then we had the incredible Dee Miller the same day getting 4 more months of rent at $2,800. Wow, that is a lot. That's $1,200 a month of rent. We had Madonna, who got 1 round of rent, then another round of rent, and the third round of rent rent. Incredible. Kathy says, you are a godsend. Love you back, Kathy. She got about $6,000 from 3 items, including rent, in the last few days. May Lou in the last few days also got about $5,000 to $6,000. I appreciate you so much. You're the best. Love you back, May Lou. Morel got 3 rounds in the last few days. Scarp, you got Snap. Alyssa Justice, she got $10,000. And there is Jay Grant. It says, I speak for all of us. We love you, LA. I got another $5,000. Love it. And then the last one, which I really love the story, is Chris. He had gotten $10,000 for this earlier this year from Third Stimulus for rent and utilities. He says, I never would have known about this additional round if you had not mentioned it. So I got another round for rent and utilities, about $5,000. So get that pen and paper ready and follow along with the newsletter if you're a member, because we're going to go over how you can get this big money right now. It's featured in the newsletter if you're a member. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And we'll start with that rent. It has gone up a lot. It was $20,000 to $30,000 about 3 months ago. This was the graphic then. Let's look at the graphic then. Now it is about $40,000. So where do you get that rent from? 6 places. You're ready? They're in the newsletter. If you don't have the newsletter, follow along and take notes. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Rent or mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. Next is 3 musts. You must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must get applications to file everywhere. Third, you must get multiple rounds. So if you got 1 round before, get another round today. If you got a round yesterday, get another round from another organization today. When we talk about mortgage assistance, you do the same thing. We had one viewer this last week get $38,000 for rent. If that is you, send me a private message on social media. I want to feature you live on air. I forgot your name. Utilities, wow. It's gone up a lot. One viewer getting $15,000. It's Mark Brothers-in-law. You want to get that utilities assistance. Reach out to all your utility companies. And again, it's utility assistance because of COVID. Food. You should not be paying for your own food if you got a third stimulus check, because Department of Agriculture will pick it up for you in SNAP. Get SNAP from Department of Agriculture. It went up 25% lifetime starting in October. And Mark's brother-in-law is now getting $25,000 a year, which is $250,000 over the next 10 years. Here is the next big surprise, which is those combos. Nisi and Art Sullivan started in May. I said, follow Nisi and Art. They got 3 items. Mark was at 2 at 32. I said, Mark, where's your third? He got his third, brought him to $50,000. Mark has continued, and now he's at over $100,000. Lorraine was at 105, and now she's at 120. And just a few days ago, one viewer defied all odds and got the largest payout we've ever seen for a family from any of these recons, $138,000 from third stimulus last week. Incredible. If that was you, send me a private message. I want to learn more about what happened with you. Now, let's turn to the best story of all of them, which is the story from Johnny. It's a 3-part story. Part 1 was Johnny was listening to this video a few weeks ago. And in 3 days, between Monday and Wednesday, he got $45,000 from 3 programs, just like 2 other viewers. Good. But he heard my recordings where I say, don't stop, keep on pushing. And he did keep on pushing. And by the end of the week, he got 7 programs approved. Why do I like the story? Because Johnny clearly made 17 phone calls, 15 phone calls, 16 phone calls, because you're going to have 20 to 50% no's. You're going to have 20 to 50% no's. So for him to have 7 yeses, he had to have about 7 no's. He made the phone calls. He made the effort. And that's what you should do as well. How much did he get in those 5 days? $80,000. The part 2 of his story was the following Monday. He reached out to his family and his 2 family members saying, hey, I got $80,000 last week from third stimulus. They said, from who? LALATE. They said, oh, I've heard about him. What did he help you get the money for? He said, third stimulus. They said, Johnny, I haven't heard about this on broadcast media. Why have I not heard it? They don't cover it. He does. Let me show you how to do it. By the end of the week, those 2 family members each had $50,000. This is how you rock and roll. What's the landscape in America right now? LA is the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, but the number 1 on this subject matter, which is geopolitical news. They don't all cover this. They rarely cover most of the subjects. And I don't cover some of their subjects, like SPACs. What's a SPAC? You don't know it because I don't cover it. Does it mean it doesn't exist because I don't cover it? No, it means I don't cover it. Just sort of like how they don't cover my stuff. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means they just don't cover it. Let's go to part 3 of Johnny's incredible story, which came in 2 Sundays ago. I was watching Sunday Night Football, and I got a private message on Instagram from Johnny saying, LA, I've been helping more people. I said, how many more? He said people kept on coming around asking. It snowballed. 35 people. 35 people. And I said, Johnny, what happened? He said, I got the money from watching your channel, from showing them to watch your channel. We watched the channel together, and we learned together as a group. how much money did you get them, Johnny? And Johnny revealed he got them $850,000. We're cashing checks here, folks. We're not tracking checks. We're cashing checks. If there's $850,000 available for 30 plus people, they should get it. And I'm showing you how to get it. So consider becoming a member today. The link is under the video. People are understanding day in, day out that there's fortunes of money available for you today. And in the membership newsletter, I feature the 6 places you reach out to, the key words you say, the 5 nonprofits that also pay for small appliances like furnaces and refrigerators, also small nominal repairs. I also feature in the newsletter the incredible money that came from Treasury out to the states for the rent and utilities, and the 5 nonprofits. There's money available. You qualify. Single, married, behind on bills, not behind on bills. Money in every single state. So consider becoming a member today to get that incredible money and incredible newsletter. Let's turn back into forced stimulus, which we left off at the housing provisions. The 3 new housing provisions are money to repair the home, first-time home purchases, and also for the weatherize your home. So the first-time home purchases will be money given to the seller in your name at the time of escrow by the federal government. The second item is weatherize your home, all income levels, like window or glass. And the third item, finally, is the first-time home purchases, is the low-income home repairs. This is not a law yet. This is a proposed item under forced stimulus. Next, I got $150 billion of free home health care for my seniors and people on disabilities. They got in there the $550 check for the Pell Grant for my college students. And then finally, I want to introduce you to 2 new cast members. There, you may have seen them around. They love to sing. The first one is Simplistically Sally, and the other one is Voting Victoria. Well, what do they have in common besides loving to sing? There's Voting Victoria. They have very interesting comments. I want to address their interesting comments right now. Voting Victoria often says things like, when are they voting? When are they voting? When are they voting? Did they vote? Did they vote? What Voting Victoria doesn't realize is that the voting process is not appropriate unless everything is fixed. And not everything is fixed. I'm going to give you a real life example in just a second. But what we're talking about here is we have to pass the House. We did. Now we have to pass the Senate. But it's a 3,000 page bill. And if I'm a senator and I'm looking at a provision and I really love it, I want this money to go out to Americans. I want to go out to a lot of Americans, but I read a provision, I say, some people are not going to get it because you messed up the language. And I want those people to get it, but you messed up the language. You need to fix it. So I'm going to go to Chuck Schumer and say, hey, Chuck, can you fix the language? What does Simplistic Sally say? So basically, how many more steps? 1 step? So basically, it's 2 steps. So basically, what day? So things are not so basic. In this example, it's not so basic because I'll go to Chuck and say, you need to fix this provision. And he'll say, I agree, LALATE. So far, so good. So far, so basic until he asks the other Democrats. And then maybe one say, no, I love the mistake in there. Leave the mistake in there. And then suddenly it's an extra step. So you can't predict everything. It's a very fluid situation. You want an example? I'm going to give you an example right now. If I was a senator, this is what would happen because I don't think the provision is correctly written, even though I want you to have the money. It is the money for the new car, electric, $12,500. The car must be U.S. auto manufactured and also made by unionized labor and U.S. manufacturers. Pretty simple, isn't it? It sounds so simple so far. It involves you going to the dealership. The window sticker will say something like $30,000 minus $12,500 equals $18,000 at the time of purchase. Yes, the discount at the time of purchase. That's fine. It's the language in here that I think violates U.S. trade policies with Mexico and Canada. Oh, that's a big problem, isn't it? Yeah, just a little bit of a problem. So there's a rule that says you cannot discourage the purchase of one goods in one country over the goods of another country if it's Mexico, Canada, and the United States. I think this violates it. Here's the example. 2 cars, the Cadillac Lyriq, SUV, electric, and the Mustang Mach-E, Ford and SUV and electric. Pretty simple so far. Yeah, they're both electric. Okay, they both qualify. They're Ford and GM. Okay, they still both qualify. They're made by Ford unionized labor and GM unionized labor. Okay, they still qualify. So what's the big problem? The problem is the Ford is made in Mexico and bing, disqualified. What? And the Cadillac is made in Tennessee, qualified. Ding, ding, ding. I don't think you can do that. I think it violates policies, those trade imbalances. So I don't think you have to do it. I think you would have to modify the language. So I would go to Chuck and say, modify this language, Chuck. I think we have a problem. Next, they got $65 checks in there per month per student when they're not in school. And then we go to one of the best provisions of Recon, which is the cheaper medical which is a chip medicine. Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D, the most expensive medications like arthritis, diabetes, and cancer will be slashed dramatically. Like a dose of insulin will go from $1,000 to $35 out the door. It'll start with 20 medications a day one, grow to 30 medications by year 2028. That cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. And guess what? There's a penalty provision in the recon that says if you do that, you get penalized. Excuse me, you can't penalize anyone. You can't put penalties on a recon. So says Pat Toomey, the Senator GOP member. I think I agree with him. So Senator LALATE would say, Chuck, you got to take this out also. I think it violates the rules. Now, Chuck may not take it out because someone else may cut to the chase, and that is the Senate parliamentarian. She's a government official that looks at the language and looks and sees what has to go out. That may likely go out. Then immigration reform, I think it's going out. She previously ruled it cannot go by recon. Which brings us then to paid leave. Case in point, when I talk about voting, Joe Manchin last week said, you keep paid leave in there, I'm voting against it. I'm voting against the recon. Well, it solves the equation if the Senate parliamentarian removes it before that voting happens. Now, what's very fascinating across the board is that the senators who want to add that MSC say there's major gaps in this recon. We have a lot to add. So that's why it's important for you to advocate. When we're looking at the price of this recon, you already see that this number don't add up. It ain't $15,000. It's a whole lot more than $15,000, folks. You got this, and then you got all the checks repeated from third stimulus that paid you $45,000. You got the money coming from Maxine Waters and the add-ons. You're clearly, and you haven't even looked at the Senate changes that go on top of that. You're clearly $50,000, $60,000 before we got to the Senate changes. But the senators say, we're adding a lot more in there. And that is why it's important to advocate to them. And they, again, are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Advocate to them for those inclusion of those provisions, because guess what? That's what they're doing right now. And with that, let's go back into the incredible provisions that are in this recon that pay you a lot of money and are passed by the House. They got in there universal pre-K, 1 year, 3 to 4 year olds. They got in there the child care back end. Now, this is a program that is expiring December from third stimulus. That's why they want to get it in there. The child tax credit, $3,600, 1 more year. This is the same. It's expiring. They want to get it in there. The earned income tax credit for my hazard pay workers, that's in third stimulus. It's expiring as well. So you see 3 provisions right off the board. They want to get in there before they expire. They got the home health care. They got the Medicaid expansion. We went over, that's a covered benefit. We got over into the hearing, and then we went into the housing, the nutrition, and the Pell Grant. So what are the other checks that those senators would add in there? Well, in addition to that MSC, Bernie says he wants to add in there 3 other add-ons for the Senate. And those Senate add-ons he wants to do are lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, dental, and vision. First, he wants to bring the Medicare eligibility age down. It's currently 65. He wants it 55. Bob Casey wants it at 60. Then Bernie wants to do 10 years of full benefits. Interesting. I don't think he can. 3 years of full benefits, I think that is workable. And then the last time that dental was in there was an $850 check. They can get that in there, but it's just not enough. It doesn't cover for most procedures, so I don't think it works. He wants to put in there a pair of frames and an eye exam per year. For vision, I think that's simple until you look at frame wars. And that is not simple. Frame wars coming back to this channel in just a few days. Student loan debt forgiveness. Wow, let's take a leap over there for just a second. It's by executive order. There's an offer on the table, $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven. The Democrats should take it. It would follow 2 other student loan debts been forgiven, actually 3 before that. 1 for people who became disabled, people who went to work in the nonprofit sector, people who went to work in the public sector after graduation. 5th stimulus and COLA. Lots of questions. I'm going to answer your questions on air right now. COLA and 5th stimulus are different things, so let's do one at a time. COLA is law. Your benefits are going up 5.9% January 1. Everyone. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. Didn't receive the letter from Social Security? Don't worry. It's a just by the way letter. The letter is not required. You're automatically going up, and everyone is going up 5.9%. In the case of some veterans, I'm seeing some reports of veterans getting the lift up starting this month of December. Now that's COLA. 5th stimulus seeks to say, hey, COLA don't work. We want to get rid of COLA for December 2022 and replace it with inflation, which does work, going up 2 to 3% potentially then. They want to replace COLA because you've been undervalued. So first they want to raise your benefits up to get you caught up. And that is you across the board. Then apply the new benchmark. Remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. And that is fiscal stimulus. Meantime, there's so much else going on. Let's turn to the real confusion about Omicron, which is starting to look a little messy. It's looking messy all over the place. One, the president 2 weeks ago, right after Thanksgiving, said, I'm putting travel into the United States for non-U.S. citizens from South Africa on lockdown until we can get some data about Omicron. On Sunday, Dr. Fauci said that maybe those restrictions will be lifted because we may not need them. But yet the data is not there. Then on Sunday, Fauci said initial data, which is very little, is showing promising news about Omicron. But it's very little data. It's just not looking good. I mean, first we said we need some good data, and now we say we have very little data. And now it's saying like, okay, well, it's a little bit of data. A little data is fine. What? It's very peculiar. Dr. Walensky at the CDC as well talked about the situation, said, I need more data. Elsewhere, the president is really under fire because of these travel restrictions from Europe for U.S. travelers. You have to have a test, a negative test, before coming back into U.S. soils if you're a U.S. citizen. But where is the test taken? And when is the test taken? And how is the test taken? Citizens are not clear because the president has not made the situation clear and keeps on changing it. For example, if you're flying from Germany to New York but have a stopover overnight in Paris, do you have to retest in Paris, and what type of test do you have to do? Travelers are dumbfounded. This situation is changing almost every few days, and viewers and those travelers simply just don't know. As if that was even more bizarre, to tell you what happened at Wall Street, I wanted just to say, slap some sense into you. What happened with Wall Street today? Wall Street was up 600 points. Why? Because Omicron's not so serious, we think, but we're not sure. What? Come off of it. Now let's look at what's going on here, because I want to explain to you really what is at issue. And this is very, very important for you. Very, very important. So I'm going to slow it down. Omicron news, of course, had hit right after Thanksgiving, and that caused the stock market to crash for 1 or 2 days. It came back and was relatively flat for a few days. Then last Friday, news came in about the new jobs report. That's what caused the market to go down 1,000 points, caused Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies to crash 50%, the worst crash ever that I've ever seen on the History of this channel, on Saturday, and remain relatively low today. They're double dipping back to those Saturday 50% lows today. Today, they got the first day of Wall Street open since Fauci's comments on the weekend. They're like, Omicron's not so serious, so maybe we should trade up, and stocks went up 600 points. This is ridiculous. I gotta say, this is ridiculous. For any person who thought the stock market was rebounding because Omicron's not so serious, first of all, we don't know anything about Omicron still. We have very little data. Number two, the stock market didn't crash on Friday or Thursday because of Omicron. It crashed because of the jobs report. Hello, Earth to Mars. Now, let me go over what that jobs report is and why that situation is very serious in a very unusual way, and why we won't know this situation for at least 2 more weeks. What happened on Thursday, Friday? The jobs number came in, which is once a month. It's usually a top line number, which talks about how many jobs are created. That was not the issue. It was the other numbers in the report. What happened broadly, I'm telling you broadly what it is, and I'll go over the specifics, is the numbers were astronomically incredible. They were so strong, showing the economy is much better than Wall Street anticipated, that Wall Street got their socks scared off of them. Because why? They now believe, analysts, including myself, that if Omicron remains mild, which as of Fauci's comments yesterday and today, it's going to remain mild as an issue, that the Federal Reserve will tighten and raise interest rates faster and potentially more than anyone thought. There's now believing that the tapering of the Federal Reserve will come sooner, perhaps Q1 2022, and that interest rate hikes may come in double next year and potentially in Q2 next year. So this is something no one had anticipated in the stock market, and that's why the stock market crashed. And guess what? The situation is going to be unchanged. Unless Omicron gets worse, the Federal Reserve is going to do that in 15 days from now, by July 15th, well, less than 15 days, by December 15th. And if that happens, you're really going to see the stock market crash even more. Look at the job numbers that came in on Friday. It showed that the labor participation number was the best in over a year, meaning more people were on the sideline that were not participating in the labor market had gotten back in. They came back in. Number two, the wages did not go up that much, which is good news for business, good news for inflation. Number three, that the unemployment numbers was the lowest number since 2019. And finally, the unemployment numbers among Latinos and African Americans, which is top priority for the Federal Reserve, improved dramatically. All the signals that supply chain issues are easing across the board. Really, really fascinating situation. And what I gotta say is that between now and December 15th, you have to stay with me every single day, because this is not an Omicron issue. This is the Federal Reserve going to come in like a tsunami and start changing things very quickly, because the economy is far stronger than anyone thought. Meantime, one of the most exciting shows coming to this channel in just a few days is about an altered universe. A universe in which I have everything, as much bacon as I want. It's called the metaverse. And here I am in the metaverse, in a new land in which you can join me and interact with me and my Purple Power friends and your Purple Power friends as well. It's a new environment, and then this new show, you're going to see me both in my current state and my digital state, here going to businesses and showing you how you interact with fellow people, showing you, more importantly, how to make money. Lots of money in this digital universe, whether it's buying and selling real estate, whether it's opening a business, whether it's operating a business, whether it's renting a business or renting advertising. I'll show you how to make money in this new incredible environment. It's coming to this channel in just a few days. It is the digital environment of the metaverse. Meantime, I really appreciate all the love you have delivered for our hit show, Holidays LATE. It's at 11 a.m. daily on this channel, Monday through Friday. And it features the first half about this and the second half about your holiday decor. It's the second season. Boy, has it been a runaway success story. And that show now also has, for the 2021 season, a live interaction with me and you in the live chat in the second half of this video. But now, as an added treat, I know you've been liking the show, Holidays LATE is going to make repeated appearances in Stream Stimulus every night at 7 o'clock on this channel. So now you will have a triple dose of contemporary stimulus and holiday programming every night. You'll have this show, Evenings LATE, at 5, then Evenings Countdown at 6, then Stream Stimulus at 7, which has encore performances of your wonderful Holidays LATE shows taped in the last few days. That is coming to this channel as well. Meantime, a talking cow, a scarf-loving SBA head, and a guy that eats ribs like they're going out of style. Oh boy, who puts these people together? I do. They're called Calcino. They're coming to this channel in just a few days. It is the ensemble that is causing an onslaught of concern. What is going to happen when you put these three people together? Sirloin, Javita Lade, and Blaine66 returning for the first time ever in an ensemble show, a comedy-only broadcast for the holidays, a short-run series. It's called Calcino, and it's coming in just a few days. Here again is Calcino. And that is Calcino. coming to this channel in just a few days. Meantime, if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I want you to go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. Be part of this incredible family and like the video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Get to that big newsletter tonight that comes out 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, which is also free. Hit that LA alert system link underneath the video. Have a beautiful evening. Join me next as evening's countdown gets underway, and then stream Simulus with encore performances of Holidays LA. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful evening, and stay here as for more across the board as evenings continues.